What's good, guys? Well, today the moment's finally come. After 215,000 miles, the engine has finally decided it's done. I don't have any power. Oh, I'm dead.
Hey, you can't even drive it now?
I think I just died on the street. I think this engine's dead. Yeah, this engine's dead. Not really sure what happened to it, but it sounds like I threw a rod or he dropped the valve or something. It sounds like a bunch of cement. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull off the old engine and we're going to put in this engine. It's got 100,000 miles on it. They say it runs, so hopefully I'm in good shape. This car is an 06, that means it has a RevUp motor. It's an 06 manual. The RevUp motor only came on the 2005 anniversaries. It only came on the 06 model manuals, and I believe 2005 to 2007 G35s. And so the difference for that is they rev to 7,000 RPMs, and they have some different timing going on, I believe, on the intake cam. And so they make a little bit more horsepower. The way you can tell if a motor is a RevUp motor is by the cam covers. They actually have all these detailing in it, which on the non-RevUp motors, this is just a smooth plate. So that's how you can tell if you decide to want to swap the engine yourself without looking at VIN numbers and stuff. So we're going to pull all the components that I've upgraded from the other car onto this one. This one already has a Plymouth spacer on it, so I'm not sure if I feel like moving it from one car to the other car, but I do have headers on it. So we're going to replace the headers, and we're going to place the lightweight flywheel on it I have on it. So what we're going to do to get out of this engine out of the car is we're actually going to pull both the transmission and the engine out. So this piece right here will need to come off. It'll just make it easier to stab the motor and move the components from one engine to the other engine. So we're going to go ahead and dump the fluids out of the car so the engine's easier to manage. Nothing like having a bunch of oil inside the engine after trying to pull it out. Oh, look who's here today. Lucas is.
Hey, what's up, fam? Pro tip, use plastic baggies, and then you can label where they're supposed to go, so you have everything ready to be able to put back when you're trying to reassemble everything. Alright, so in order to be able to get all this front component off, you're going to have to go after these two lines right here. Turns out, for power steering, for the coolant on the power steering. So they were a bit of a pain in the ass. We decided to unclip them from the inside component right here with these guys. They have a nipple on the end, which makes that incredibly difficult. You have to basically just try to take the hose and walk it as ever so loosely as you can. Once you get the top one off, you can pull the whole thing through and then use some pliers to help walk the bottom one off to finally get them undone. You're going to have a mess with some power steering fluid when you do that, but after that's done, there's just a couple more bolts, we can get the whole front end off and be able to start getting to the actual engine components.
Okay, you're also going to want to take your headlights off and disconnect your AC lines to get this off, the front end off, and also disconnect the reservoir for your windshield washer. So, and then all of it should finally come off. Alright. Day 2. Alright, to get this harness out, this harness runs from the back of the engine all the way into your inside of your car. You take this kick panel off, and it connects through a harness right here on the wall, and you can see his hand. Yeah, and it runs through here, and you just have to unclasp it in there. Alright, so it looks like we got everything off the car that we think is going to be an issue when we pull the engine out. But since we're pulling the transmission and the engine out together, will there be some mounts and stuff underneath that we'll have to get for the transmission as well. But I think we documented all the stuff that you need to see. We'll probably review the video to make sure we got everything. But the next steps is to undo the transmission, and then we should be able to pull this thing out. Alright, so transmission and engine is out. Not a fun job, thanks to Jarrell. Come through clutch, like always.
I brought the ribs, that's all I did.
Got some ribs up in here. That'll work.
That's all I brought to the table.
Hey, that's all right. All right, so what we got to take off? So here's the headers. We're gonna take the headers off and coat these with some ceramic coating. We're gonna leave the pulley on there, right? Not worry about that.
We're taking the pulley. Well, not the crank pulley. We're taking the tensioner pulley.
The tensioner pulley, because the one in the car came is sounds like trash, so it's probably no good. And then the power steering pump has spilt all over the place, so we're gonna have to replace that as well.
It's the driver's side when I was shot.
It's missing the discovery that these are shot.
Fondle your mouth.
That's making the video, y'all. Alright, so one of the steps we have to do is to get this pilot bushing out. And we don't have the tool, so what we've seen all over the internet is to shove bread in there and then hammer it out with something that fits the center of it. So we're going to give this a shot. Wow.
Simple.
Alright, well, little pro tip, use bread when you don't have the tool. So, we're about to wrap up today. It looks like putting the belts on, we noticed that there's a difference between my engine and the one I got. So the one that I got has a fan assembly in the front, and this one doesn't. So I don't know if that's like an 06.5 type situation, because that's what I have. My car is built at the end of the year. So we're having to take apart that car and then that engine, and then there's a spacer right here that we need to remove because the fan sits right here. So this whole thing isn't on my car. So from the website it said it was an 06 car, but maybe it was an 05 anniversary model engine, or I don't know. But at least we have options. So that was what the issue was. So the spacer goes right in there, and now our belts should fit because the belts were not fitting. All right, next fun fact. Don't mind our mess. This new block, it's easier to show you in this one. This new block doesn't have the sensor right here. I don't know what the sensor does, but I think it's for the alternator?
Yeah.
For the alternator. But all it is just has a bolt into it. So we gotta take this one out of mine and put it in that one. Ready?
It seems like it's getting plenty of crank.
Yeah.
You're not getting fuel.
Ready?
Yeah. God, that was loud.
Yeah!
God, I was like, this gotta be something.